Hey, this is Drew Thornton with Flexijet North America. Hey, we're having a lot of customers ask us here lately about how do you measure a fireplace and how easy it is. So we decided we'd make a little project for you today. We're going to measure this fireplace in one of our customer showrooms, and we're going to measure and put a hearth in, and we're going to show you how to get all the measurements of high and low. And then what we're going to do is we're going to be able to have this fabricator cut it and install it and show you the finished process. So stick with us. All right, so the first thing we want to do, guys, is this is a really nice feature, auto level. So we can see, because we're doing a lot of planes, stuff being plumb, vertical, and horizontal surfaces. So what I'm going to do here, we're just going to click on the measurement tab, and if you will take a look at what we got, we're just going to call this a countertop. We're actually going to rename it hearth, and it allows us to take a point. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit a function called multi-line for us. And guys, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and shoot where it goes. 2 points on each surface, and that's going to give us our hearth. And that's what we're going to build from. And then we simply know that this customer wants that hearth to be offset 12 inches. And that's a really nice feature. What we're going to do is basically we will just align this to how it needs to be, and we'll go to offset, and we'll say 12 inches, sir. 12 inches and 12 inches. And then we'll connect those up for him. And then we'll hit auto dimension. And we can see we have all the information that you could ever possibly need. Great. All right, guys, now we're going to measure this vertical surface. We're going to call this wall 1 for us. Same thing as measuring a countertop. You can imagine we just turn it on a vertical plane. Pretty simple process. What I'm going to do in this application is I'm actually going to use the remote. The remote, these buttons A, X, Y, and B are programmed to what you need them to be. A happens to be multiple lines. So why don't we do this? I'll come down. Because we already have a plane, we're able to project this. And by the way, guys, as I'm just talking, I want you to see how fast the laser actually moves. When it actually takes a blink, it's taking 500 points in that third of a second, within closer than a 32nd degree of accuracy. So 1/32 in less than a third of a second, 500 times. If it gets an error at any measurement, it won't take it. All right, so we'll get this here. And I like being able to use a remote to come over and get to the spots that I need to get to without having this. We're the only one that's motorized out here, so it's a really nice process to be able to do. All right, that quick. Now take a look over here. We can come here to the Flexijet, and what's nice is, as you can see, we have all this information here. We can edit here, we can do things, and this doesn't have to be attached. It's completely Wi-Fi, and we can just actually hit close, and then look, if we take over here and we look at here, you can see everything is in a 3D model for us. How quick is that, guys? You can also hit this button here, guys, and look, it dials in exactly where we are measuring. So if we want to get right in that corner, not only do we have the remote control, but we could do it from here if you'd like. So we're going to measure this left wall here, and we're going to do that one manually and not with the remote. So here's what we're going to do. By the way, the Flexijet gives you instructions on the Flexijet and on the computer, which is really nice. So it's just give me a point on the left and on the right side. We're just telling it where it is in space. And we can simply do, as we are measuring the countertops, we click on the folder we're working in and we hit multiple lines. So we get 2 points on the surface and where we are going. And we're going to do a little better than scribe the wall. We're actually going to do a heat map on this for you. So you can see how nice it is. This is also going to tell us whether the customer ceiling is level vertically and where it meets on an angle, and seeing what size that is. All right, and the same thing we did before. We're simply just going to hit join together. And that's how you measure a fireplace. Now we're going to show you some really cool features. Okay guys, what we're going to show you now is how to check where that wall's in and out of plumb. So why this is important, if we will establish where a beginning point is, we're going to do a scan grid. And then what's nice about the Flexijet is it'll go back and it'll point us where the low and the high spots are. That's going to save you a lot of time in install, because what that does is if you're communicating to your installer, you can go ahead and know where to float the mud out. This also works the same in countertops as far as putting shims down. So let's take a look at what we got here. You take a look in the screen. What we're going to do is we're going to call this a hatch, okay? And then it's going to ask us what degree of angle. We set on 45 is nice. And let's say we want our measurements every 6 inches, okay? So that's a hatch there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to tell it to digitize that hatch, right? And it's going to say select the object, right? We're going to hit confirm that. And let's say it's within 1/8 of an inch. Measure the reference point. So we're going to say, let's just start right here. As you can see, it's making the grid as we're going across, and it's aligning all the spots. And it actually tells you the time remaining. This, if you take a look here at a live screen, guys, this is 3 minutes to digitize this. So at this time, while it's doing its own thing, motorization, you can be talking with your decorator, your builder, making decisions about edges, that type of stuff that can work best for you, so it can utilize your time on the job. Okay guys, if you'll take a look here, we actually have where everything is high and low, and it'll give us our minimum and our maximum point. Hey, it just happens to be there's the maximum right there. Let's do this. Show us our CAD point and show me where that is. Wow, looky there. We can mark that on the wall where it needs to be. So a customer can come over here and mark, that's high. And by this distance from 0 to 0, it can tell him it's 1/8 of an inch, 1/2 inch, whatever it is, and he can mark it. Is that not a cool feature or what?